megahertz ether and 105.2 megahertz cable. On the topic today, substance abuse with Mr. Ruel Kesmarkas.
Kesmarkas, yes, that's right. That's a difficult name, a difficult Dutch name. Even for Dutch people it's difficult.
Oh, all right. Ruel, if I may ask, how do I know, or could you just tell our audience who are listening, tell us how we may identify somebody who is in addiction? What I'm trying to ask here is, what are the characteristics of addiction?
Yes, well, I think what is important is for example, mood swings. People are sometimes, well, if they don't use, they are not that happy. If they use, they are feeling better. But another thing is, well, neglection of things. Everything is going. Well, they don't sport anymore that much. They don't do that well on school. They are, well, everything they do is going a little bit down, and that kind of things. Another thing is that they lose interest in home, in their brothers, in their sisters, in their family.
Wow.
They are getting more and more obsessed by the drug.
Really?
And yeah, of course, sometimes well, they also they develop also some problems with money. It depends, of course, on the drug that is used.
Yeah.
Well, that kind of things.
Yeah. Really? So they become isolated? Is that what you mean?
Yes, they become more and more isolated, and yeah, and well, you know,
lose interest.
Lose interest. That's important, and well,
develop monetary problems.
Yes, and mood swings, and well, change. People change. They become different. They're going to start differently, to function differently. And what is always important, you know, is how to talk with somebody. How do you start a conversation? How do you start well, and you know, people don't talk about their drug use because they expect people to react very negatively, you know.
Yeah.
And that's why they don't, well, they don't tell you about their drug use. So that's why you have to be to have a little bit of an open mind.
Yeah.
If the drug user know that you will react very negatively,
yeah,
or that you will react with a big anxiety, you know, then he won't talk. But if he thinks, okay, maybe I can just tell, and the reaction won't be that negative, maybe then they start to talk.
They open up.
So you have to have an open attitude, you know, open mind.
So those ones that we see on the streets, and then we call them the junkies.
Yes.
Right? Who are they?
Yeah, they are the junkies you were talking. They are mostly using drugs already for a very, very long time.
Oh.
So they started to use, well, in the early 80s or early 90s.
Yeah.
They are already using for 20, 30 years. They are chronically addicted, and they use mostly heroin or crack cocaine.
Yeah.
Mostly they got help from the municipal health service.
Yeah.
Sometimes they get methadone. Methadone is an alternative for heroin, but it's more a medicine, and it works a little bit longer. It works 24 hours. Well, they are really running into problems, and they are very heavily addicted. So their complete life is centered around drug taking and drug using, and getting the drugs. You know, all the time is spent with using or getting drugs.
Wow. So Now they are junkies wandering around. They can no more afford what they used to afford to have before. Like if it's heroin or coke, as you said.
No, you know, if you are completely addicted to heroin, then your complete life is centered around this drug. So you need to score, you need to get the drug. That costs an awful lot of time.
Yeah.
That costs an awful lot of money. And so, and when they have the drug, they start to use it, and they are okay. They are under influence.
Yeah.
And then they need some time to restore.
Yes.
And then when then they need again, you know, and then they have to score again, and it starts all again. And yeah, these people are chronically addicted, and yeah.
Oh.
We have about 4,000 of them in the city of Amsterdam.
Jesus, 4,000 junkies.
Yes.
So this is not funny at all. Even though I'm laughing, it's not funny at all. Is it from your experience? Does it vary from ethnic groups and social groups? Does it vary? I mean, the usage of this substance, does it vary? Like, who are more vulnerable when it comes to it? Is it men or women, or working class or non-working class, singles or married, indigenous or non-indigenous? Who?
Yeah, so in general, it are more men than women. That's for sure. It are mostly men. For example, with alcohol, you see on every 4 men who got addicted, you see one woman. It are mostly people who run into problems, in fact. Their life is not, they have life problems.
Yeah.
And then they start to use drugs, and then they become addicted. That is what happens. So it are more